What's up, guys? It's Lenny, your fan of stuff too, and today I want to talk about something that I actually fucking hate in Yu-Gi-Oh right now. I know I haven't posted a video in oh fuck, ow, that hurt my hand. I know I haven't posted a Yu-Gi-Oh video in a little while, but I wanted to talk a little bit about wind-ups and Gookies because there's a little bit of an inconsistency in Konami's mindset, and the big problem with this is that it's hurting wind-ups a lot, and clearly Konami has changed their mind on this, and it they should bring they should give windups the ability to play again, which sucks that they don't have the ability to play right now. So what am I talking about? So essentially, when windups were really good, as you know, windups used to hand loop like crazy. Things went out of hand for a bit, so they nerfed windups, and windups got their shit kicked in. Zenmaity banned Magician to 1. I think Shark even got hit to 1 at one point. Just a lot of things got hit. And then over time, everything started coming back. But we still have Magician at 2 and Zenmaity banned. And the entire reason why I thought Zenmaity ban and Magician at 2 was a good thing for the game was because in my mind, the philosophy Konami had was that we do not endorse hand loops, and we do not want hand loops to become a prevalent part of the game, or FTKs. And so with the FTK things, Magicians and all those people fucking threw that shit out the window. But then they banned it right away, so I was like, oh shit, nice. But now, in terms of hand loop, Gookies have hand loops. Gookie has topologic spam, easy peasy, 4-card hand loop with a negate on board, which is essentially a 5-card hand loop. They play with 1 card because one of the 2 cards gets negated. So there's a really big inconsistency there where Gookies have a very powerful and very consistent turn 1 hand loop, while windups do not have the consistent, while windups are not given their hand loop back. And the problem is that windups, not only are they slightly less consistent even with all the pieces, but they are also slightly, even with all the pieces, windups are still slightly less consistent, but they still have Magician at 2 and Zenmaity banned. So this is a big thing that would help their consistency to make them a lot better. And so windups essentially need around 3 cards to go off like crazy. Shark plus rank 3 engine hand loops your opponent because the rank 3 engine gets you like insane spam, because the rank 3 engine gets you Zenmaity, and then Zenmaity gets you Magician, then you have Magician Shark right there, so you do some really crazy stuff. But the big thing that really sucks about having Zenmaity banned and Magician at 2, and that I think is really dumb, is that even if Zenmaity came back and Magician came to 3, the windups would require 3 cards around to hand loop their opponent and to get like a decent board off. If we look at, and they would go all in anyways. And if we look at Gookies, Gookies require 2 to do the exact same thing. So Gookies are a purely better-ish version than windups, and all their cards individually are better because they all drop each other, and you have many different ways of getting a combo off. Even though windups have many different ways of getting a combo off, it revolves a lot around very specific cards, while in Gookies it revolves around very generic cards. Any rank 3 spam, as long as if you can get Invoker out turn 1, you can hand loop your opponent. If you have Suprex plus a level 3, if you have Suprex plus any Gookie in your hand, you can hand loop your opponent. Gookies just have the ability to very easily hand loop their opponent and draw a lot of cards with Phoenix Blade, and still have space to run all the drolls and all that shit. That's really strong, as seen by this sort of deck list. I know this deck list isn't very meta, but this is just something really scrappily put together. And this isn't even considering Neospatian. This isn't even considering the fact that Gookies also have access to Neospatian Aqua Dolphin, which is just 1 card hand removal. So it removes 1 card, not hand removal, but 1 card remove a hand trap from your opponent's hand. For no cost, because discarding a card doesn't matter in Gookies because you only need 2 cards to go off. So you drop junk forward, and then you normal Aqua Dolphin, discard anything, and then just get rid of your opponent's hand trap, and then just win the game. So something like this is just like really, really weird that this sort of thing is allowed in the game, and Konami is actively is kind of endorsing it. They're giving I know Gookie, there's more support coming out for Gookie soon. Maybe it's not good support, but it's still support coming out, meaning that at least that they're caring enough to give them more cards, as opposed to windups, that windups aren't being changed at all, and windups are just like a slightly worse variant of Gookies, because they do the exact same thing, but they require more cards to do the thing. which really sucks because windups is like a type of legacy deck. It's really fun to play, and it has a lot of cool options in it. It has a lot of different combos. It's very different to play. You have to manage your resources a lot different than in Gookies. You don't just spam links. You have to spam links and manage your board space, which adds another layer of skill into the game. Plus, the fact that you're getting rid of a lot of rats means that you have to manage how many rats you have in your hand. Like, you have to manage a lot of the cards in your deck when you're playing windups, as opposed to Gookies, where most of the cards are only activate once, and you don't, like, Super X activates once, Twist Cobra activates once, all of them activate once, and one of them gets denied by Isold, and that's enough to get you like a billion resources. So, like, that's the big difference between Gookies and windups, and that's the main reason I really don't like Konami in this case and what they've decided, because windups do the exact same thing Gookies do, but windups don't have the downside. Windups don't have the upside of windups have the downside of needing 3 cards. 2 cards most of the time, sometimes, but 3 cards in terms of with Zenmaity back to hand loop your opponent. Maybe you could find a 2-card variant, but for now 3 cards to hand loop your opponent. And while a deck like Gookies can do the exact same thing with 2 cards, and they have more consistency. On top of that, Gookies also have the fact that they can draw with Divine Sword. Windups go all in, so they can't really come back. And that's like one of the big problems I have with like kind of Konami's philosophy on this type of deck. I hope that either Topologic Bomber gets banned or removed from the game very soon, just because of the fact that if he doesn't get removed from the game, Zenmaity should come back to 1, just so that the hand loop mechanic can still be given to windups, because the fact that you're giving Topologic a generic link monster to every single deck, this just means that you're giving every deck that can spam the ability to possibly hand loop. And if you're giving every deck the possibility to hand loop, then why are anything in windups touched? Because windups, the only reason they got hit is because hand loop and FTKs. And if you want to deal with the FTK, you just put a bat to 1, and then you can't FTK in windups anymore. You don't even have to deal with it. So don't give me that fucking retarded FTK thing. Be like, oh, it's because the FTK, that's why they don't want to bring Zenmaity back. No, you can just put bat to 1, easy peasy. No one cares about bat. You only run bat at 1 anyways if you really want to play it. You don't have enough extra deck space to spam bat a shit ton. Unless your deck revolves around that, which in that case, your deck is garbage. But yeah, it really sucks that windups are super, super weak now. What really sucks that windups aren't back at full power when a deck like Gookies is currently existing at full power, is better than windups, and does exactly what windups do with just this new card, Topologic Gumblar Dragon. Because you can Gumblar, discard 2 cards, and then bring back Link Karibo on their draw phase. So not only can you discard the other 2 cards in their hand, but you can also possibly discard their drawn card, which if they brick and they draw a card to out them, you can hit that card, obviously. That's the cool thing about it. You have more options to hit. And then you also have a Tri-Gate Wizard out, which means that you can also negate one of your opponent's effects. And you also have the other 2 effects with it, which is pretty cool. But yeah, that's just one of the really weird things I think that Konami's done. They've taken this archetype of Gookies, and they've given it this card like Topologic Gumblar Dragon, but this archetype like windups haven't been given anything, and windups really need whatever they can. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I thank you guys for watching. This is just a rant talking about how I don't like Konami's decision to release Topologic Gumblar Dragon, because this kind of thought process went through my mind a little bit ago, and I've been trying to make a video about it for about a few days now. I don't know, it's kind of just a weird thought process to think. It's kind of a weird thing to think about, right? Like, spam decks get fucked over, but then you're giving support to like this other spam deck. And it's not like they just released Gookie support and it's like they're trying to push it, right? It's not like they just released anything. Topologic is the only new card. All these cards are really old. Everybody who's playing Gookies is already playing Gookies. They already have all this stuff. They're not buying more shit. Gookies was just as popular before Topologic as after it. So it's not like Topologic is this huge new revelation, right? So I don't know. This is kind of a really weird concept to me. Konami being okay with hand looping only in certain regards. Which kind of sucks. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Ciao, ciao.